Hello everybody, welcome back to OCD Hi-Fi Guy. Okay, here you have it. First time it's ever been done on the whole planet. What I'm going to do here is something unheard of. I'm going to give you my complete recipe for a hi-fi music server. Okay, now this is not the player, okay? This can work as a server. As some people know, you can use a small CPU and still run RuneCore, but it just will clog up faster. So I'll tell you while I go through this build why it's done the way it is, but everything here will enable you to build a music player that will play back Rune, that will play back Quobuz, that will and will sound phenomenal. Okay, the things that I'm going to show you right now took me at least 2 years to put this together of trial and error, and you are getting it now for free. You know, all my toil and pain and effort and everything I am bestowing on you right now. Okay, so now you can go out and build your own and be happy. Not everybody's going to be able to do this or want to do this, and but some people will. Now let me give you this up front. Okay, I'm going to give you this recipe, but I am in no way support for you. Okay, so just want you to know that. Please don't contact me trying to ask me how to get it on the network, or it's not showing up on the network, or any of that stuff, because that's not my job, man. I'm not a network guy. I know how to do it, but it eats up tons of time, and that's not that you'll have to do on your own. The software you can get on your own. I'll give you some softwares to get that are free, and you can load them on here, or you can just use whatever you like. But that's another area that I'm not going to go into how to load it and how to make a bootable disk and all this crap. You have to figure that out on your own, but use Google. It's very, very informative. Okay, so the first part of your recipe is right here. Okay, a Jetway NF9W. It's a Celeron 2930 Mini ITX, which is a thin Mini ITX. It means it's stealthy and thin and low profile. You get one of these for $170. Okay, it's got the CPU on it. Okay, this is the number one thing, the first thing that you buy. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your power supply. It's from a company called HD Plex, and this is the 200 watt linear power supply. On the back of this, it's got 4 outputs, so you can actually use this to power your SSD, your solid state drive, your motherboard, your sound card, and then say if you have like a USB decrapifier, all of that stuff could be powered from this one unit. And it is like, it's out of stock right now, but they're $300 or $320 or something like that. Very good piece, low noise linear power supply. That's the next thing that you're going to need. Okay, then you need a chassis. Okay, this is the coolest chassis I have found. $200, and this thing, trust me, chassis stink out there. You cannot find a good one to save your life. They're all just crappy thin metal stuff. This one is really well made. It's nice aluminum, and it's thick, and it comes with all the mounting parts and everything. You get to choose what you want, your color, black or silver. You do not need the Nano ATX power supply. You do need this. Yeah, this is going to be a yes. So you want the thin ITX backplate for an extra $9. Yes, you want that option because you just bought a motherboard that is thin ITX. You don't, the linear power supply, maybe he throws it in here for a better price, but right now, let's see, linear power supply, Hi-Fi DC ATX, no. So you don't need to worry about that. Just get them separately, okay? So now you've got your chassis, you got your motherboard in there, you got your power supply. The next thing is you need to get RAM on that board. Okay, so you're going to get Crucial 8 gigabytes. This is DDR3, and this is unbuffered SODIMM memory. You're going to click that into your memory spot. There's only one spot for memory on the board, and that's where this one goes. It's $47. That's going to be your 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's all you're going to have on this motherboard. It's a player. Remember, it's not a server. This is a player. Again, you can use it as a server, but it's not really the optimal build for a server. And I can tell you, that one later. But basically, for a server, you want just something wicked strong, and it can be noisy as anything. What I'm showing you how to build now is very low noise. It's going to be low noise, and it's going to do playback excellent. Okay, so here is the RAM card. Okay, so the next we need is, let's see, okay, we need the sound card. And this is something that unit that I used as an example the other day did not have in it. It had no sound card. You were pulling your Sonic or your USB straight off the motherboard. Well, this is going to be a lot better output than that one because it's going to have a reclocker and a whole. You'll have to read what the features are about this card that I'm about to show you. But it's a much better output than straight off the motherboard. Straight off the motherboard is noisy. It does not get a reclock, and this is what I'm about to show you does. Okay, so your next step is to go to Matrix Audio. Matrix Audio, okay? And you just order this. It's $179, okay? And this is a really good USB output card, okay? And it tells you why right there, all this stuff. It's all the latest, greatest, fastest, whatever, okay? Now this thing has the ability to be powered from the outside. So you're going to go from that linear power supply I just showed you. You're going to run your voltage over to here from the outside, and then you're going to switch this switch over to EXT for external. Now you're going to have much lower noise on your USB output. Trust me, it's going to be a lot better than what's coming off the motherboard. Okay, and then you are going to need some storage. So you will get yourself 1 terabyte Samsung 860 EVO 2.5 inch SSD. They're only $150 right now. I recommend no more than a 1 terabyte on the player because you can still hold a library there. Well, let's see. If we're going to play back from our library, then we might need to be Core. Now that I think about it, anyways, it doesn't matter. You can run Core on this and on your desktop, let's say, or wherever else, your NAS drive, and you can use either one as Core. If you switch the Core off on the player here and you use the one on your NAS, it's not going to bog down your player because the Core will be switched off. But if you just want to listen to something straight off the Core and not go through all the switches and all the Ethernet wire, you can just play it directly off this thing, and it'll sound better than if you played it from your desktop halfway across the house without any special switches and all that kind of stuff. So this is the next thing you need. Okay, your storage, and then to hook that because we're a low profile chassis. You're going to need this thing, which is called a PCI to PCI Express extender extension cable. Okay, so this thing is going to connect your audio card from the PCIe slot, which is on the motherboard, up to the card, which is at an angle. Normally, the card would stand straight up and down on your motherboard and click right into the slot. Well, this one has to go at a 90-degree angle because it's low profile. So you'll need this cable to make that possible. What I like about this cable is that it has an LED that goes right on the end. Let's see if it shows it. Yeah, on the LED, so that when you power up, you can see then your SSD or your sound card will then the LED on this cable will light up, and it helps you just know that everything's going kosher because you see you know that there's power down there and everything's cool. So it's another little indicator that helps you deduce if everything's going well. So I'd recommend that you get the one with the LED on it. And this thing is I think it's what is it, $12 or something, or $17.99. Totally worth it. Now look, you can find these for $7.99 and so forth, but they're much stiffer and harder to bend, and they break. They're really, just trust me. Get the one for $17. This is really flexible and thin, it's no hassle, and it works awesome every time. Okay, and then the last and final thing, unless you've got computer parts, things laying around, you're going to want one of these kits, which is all the hookups for your solid-state drive. Okay, it's the SATA, the data cable, and then it's the power cable. And it's right here, the $6.99 only, and this is a SATA hard drive connection cables. Yeah, you see it there, and you can just look it up. Okay, and that will give you absolutely everything you need to make a hi-fi music player, and that will play Roon, that will play, it'll do everything. Okay, anything that what you saw, that other thing that I was talking about, it'll do everything plus more because of this USB output card. Okay, and this is all you need. Then you just need to find your software, and you can find the software of your preference. There's Vortex Box, which is a freeware. If you look up Vortex Box, that runs on Linux. There is something called Audiophile Linux, which is a nice distro that you can put on this server. There is something called Euphony, which is for those of you that don't want to mess with software at all, you can buy a Euphony drive. Instead of the Samsung I just showed you, you can buy the drive from Euphony with the software already loaded onto the drive. So all you got to do is build your computer and then put that little drive in there, and it's going to be plug and play, ready to go. Software's already ready to go. That's really handy for those that really just don't quite want to play with software. If they've got zero experience loading software, you might want to do the Euphony line route, and that's a pretty cool thing. And let's see if I can think of anything more. I think there's a free one, maybe the Squeezebox. I think that, I'm not sure if Squeezebox is still around or whatever, but nonetheless, you'll find the free software that you need, and it's all good, you know. Roon is free, not for the subscription, but for the software, and all that. So anyways, I hope y'all will have fun with this, and this is just to show you that I put my money where my mouth is. I'm not just going to tease you and tell you that I know how to make something and then not tell you how. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm not going to just stick it out there and tease you about it. I'm going to show you the whole recipe, and that's what this is. This is my whole build. This is the build that I build if I'm making somebody a server. And then I have to mark it up because it takes me time, and it's sometimes it's a real bitch with little things that get glitchy. Okay, but anybody that's done computers, we all know how to get around that crap. There's always a solution if you just hang in there and be patient. So that's the build recipe. That's Mikey's recipe for audiophile server. So I hope you guys have some fun and pass the word around, because we're going to build a cool group here. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys soon. Later.